guys, welcome back. It's Meridy here today with Not Just for Boys Kit Club, and today is my Style Your Scraps video for our September 2025 kits called Urban Edge. And I'm going to start by showing you the scraps that I have left, which is quite a bit. Yeah, there was quite a bit of embellishments left over in this kit. Let me start by showing you what I've got here. So we have these cut aparts that I did not make very good use of this month. I really did not. Some birthday ones. Yeah, I could have made better use of these, but I didn't. So I have a lot of cut apart cards, which are great for making cards actually, but I am not a card maker, so I am not going to be making cards with those. So I will use them in some other way. I don't have very many scraps of paper left from the kit at all. Last month I was saying that I think I might start asking Paula to send me the paper add-on every month, and I won't use it in my monthly process videos that I do on YouTube, but at least I'll have that paper add-on that I can add it back in to all the pieces that I have left, because I just have a lot left this month. So we'll see. But in the meantime, I have these very few scraps left from the kit and this little paper too. But I do have a plan for these. So yeah, there's my paper scraps, not too many of those. I have a lot of this sticker sheet left, and this is one thing that I'm really super excited about working with on Style Your Scraps today. And I do have quite a bit of this sticker sheet left as well. I just did not use as many stickers this month as I normally do. So I've got lots of stickers left. And then over here, I've got ephemera left. Some of these, like this, is just the packaging that was left from the chipboard pieces that I am saving because I like to use it if I'm putting two pieces of chipboard, like I don't even have very much chipboard left at all to show you this as an example. Well, if I'm putting two pieces of chipboard overlapping each other, I cut a little piece of this trash and put it at the bottom of this one that's on top so that it lays flat instead of like at an angle. I hope that makes sense. So I've got a few pieces of chipboard left. I've got some words. Got some little phrases here, and then I've got a few pieces of die cuts left, not too many. I've got one of these little pumpkins left. Again, these are scraps, so I'm going to kind of divide this out into bigger pieces, frames, phrases, and chipboard. So I will go off camera and kind of get this. Actually, I don't even think I need to go off camera. There's so few of these left that I can just real quick divide them up here. Just a couple little bits and bobs. I've got 3 little cogs left, some buttons. These were just my sample badges that I cut on white paper. I prefer these to be stamped on solid paper or slightly patterned paper, so I really don't foresee myself using these in the future. Those were just my samples. I've got a lot of acrylics left that I haven't pulled out yet. And let's see. I've got my badge stamp. Oh, here's some more pieces from the kit. Another little cut apart. These are all stamps. Oh, I've got that. That was packaging from the chipboard pieces. I've got a few more rub-ons left. I've got these fall ephemera pieces left from the Simple Stories line. And then back here, I've got another piece of packaging from the kit and my alphabet that is almost used up. So the first thing that I'm going to do here to organize things, with my alphabet because I can't stand that it's so empty and I have to keep flipping back and forth between the two pages. I think I'm going to put all my vowels across the very top here so that it's easy to see what vowels I have, because once I'm out of vowels, like, my sticker sheet's dead. So I kind of like getting it organized so it's a little bit easier for me to see what I've got. And I'm gonna put the Y's with the vowels. So I've got all my A, E, I, O, and U, and Y together. And then I'm gonna pull in these other consonants that I've got on the second side so that I can see everything at one glance on the front of my package of alphabets. And you know what? These two O's are really supposed to be the number O, but I'm gonna put them with the alphabets, or with the vowels, because I would rather probably use them as a vowel instead of as the number 0. Okay, so now all I have on the back is just the numbers, and the front is all my letters. So I can easily glance at this and see what titles I can make moving forward. Okay, so that is one way to kind of organize halfway used up alphabets. And if you wanted, you could even pull in and make words out of these, type in some letters into AI and ask, what words can I spell with the following 30 letters? And it will tell you ideas. And you could say, give me fall theme words, give me, because obviously there's a lot of letters here and a lot of vowels, you can make a ton of words. But if I said, what fall words can I make with the following letters? And I just typed in all these letters, it would tell me. Or what masculine words can I make with the following letters? And it would tell me. Okie doke, let's see. The next thing that I want to do with Style Your Scraps is an idea that I saw on, I was listening to the Scrap Gals podcast, and if you don't listen to that podcast, it is $5 a month. I'll link it in the description of this video. I love that podcast. They make one podcast a week. They're, I think, in their 10th or 11th year already. Sometimes I'm a guest on them. I'm actually recording this afternoon. I am recording a show with them. And by the time you see this video, I think it's already gonna have aired. But yeah, it's $5 a month, but I think it's totally worth it. And they just talk all about scrapbooking. So the latest episode, as of right now when I'm filming this, is an episode where they were showing what fall layouts inspire them. And there was one layout and it just had all kinds of little puffy stickers in a circle and then a picture on it. And it wasn't like just the outline of the circle, it was like the inside of the circle filled with them. So I want to try to do that with this sticker sheet. So what I'm gonna start out doing is outlining very lightly a circle. So I'm gonna go get a plate to do that. Actually, instead of a plate, I'm just gonna grab my big circle template here. And I'm going to draw it really light in pencil. Super light, because I wanna come in and I wanna come in and erase this pencil line at the end. Okay. And I don't know what picture I wanna use on this yet. I imagine it will probably just be one 4x6 or two 3x4 small pictures, and I think I'll just put them down in this area, but I don't want to waste my stickers right here in this area if I'm going to have a picture or pictures right there. So what I'm going to take is a 4x6 piece of scrap paper, and let me trim it out here. So this can either be one 4x6 picture or two portrait orientation 3x4 pictures. And I'm gonna kind of place it right here. I'm gonna give it a little dot of adhesive in the middle just so it's not moving around on me right now. And we're gonna pretend like there are pictures right here. So I'm not worried about covering this part right here of this circle in stickers because it's just gonna be covered. And I'm just gonna use the fall stickers. I really hope there's enough. I've never done this before. I feel like there should be enough because obviously this whole sticker sheet is covered with them and I'm only trying to cover a small area. But I do think I'm gonna start with a large sticker. Okay. And you guys, I have no rhyme or reason or actually any clue whatsoever what I'm doing here, except for that I saw something similar to this on the internet. And I'm gonna put a few large stickers first because as you'll see, what I'm going to do is put small ones around it. And I'm gonna stay inside of this circle, but also close to the edges of this circle because I don't want it to go outside of the edges of this circle. Like I want it to make a perfect-ish circle in the end. And so I started with my biggest stickers and now I'm adding like the medium size stickers. And I'm just, these are obviously all fall themed. So it's easy to add and make them look cohesive because they're all the same theme. Next, I need to come in with just, I'm working my way from biggest to smallest stickers in here. As you could tell, I'm starting to get more of these like not super large stickers and still kind of leaving gaps between them. This is where it gets tough because again, like I said, I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of making this up from a picture that I saw. But I'm doing the best I can. And I'm not seeing any more very big ones, so I'm gonna start getting the bigger of the tiny ones. And thankfully there are lots of stickers on here. I'm gonna start using my tweezers to put these on so I can kind of a little bit see where it's going and what's around it before I commit and adhere down the sticker. Because I do want this to still look balanced. I don't want it to just look like I took this sticker sheet and cut it in a circle. Like I want it to be still balanced. And I'm needing some bigger things over here, I think. And some things down here. I think I'm gonna run into some problems in those areas. I think you could do this with like any kind of set of stickers, like summer stickers or really anything. Let me see. This is a nice one to put down here because we've got that narrow little piece right there. And I do want some of them to go underneath this picture because I don't want it to look like I planned it. I want it to appear like the whole design is going under this picture. So I really am worried about this little area. And that is too big to go there. But maybe I can move that sunflower. Okay. Might need to do a tiny bit of adjusting right here with this sunflower. Thankfully, these stickers are pretty forgiving. I say that and now I'm not going to be able to get it up. But they are. They're pretty forgiving So if you make a mistake, you can gently peel it up. And I think that can go there. And the sunflower can wedge right in there. Okay, this is looking nice. I'm gonna keep on adding. This is kind of harder than it looks, guys. It's so crazy to me. I'm just gonna keep picking the next smallest stickers and put them in the next biggest spaces I can find. Okay, I've got lots more little ones still available. And I've got a lot of baby ones. But I still need a couple decent sized ones here. There I've got some words kind of, and I don't even think I did this very consciously, but as you could tell, I've got like the flower pot, the flower pot, the flower pot, a pumpkin, a pumpkin, a pumpkin. Like they're kind of spread out. A car, this thing, like different. I didn't put like all the pumpkins next to each other, or the apples and the thing of apples and pumpkins next to each other. I kind of kept them spread out pretty nicely, I think, and I didn't really do that consciously. It just happened, like just by spreading out the designs. And I'm just gonna slightly move a few things. Okay, now all I've really got left are all these like tiny little pieces. And I'm just gonna try to put them to fill in the tiny little spots on here. And I'm starting again with the bigger ones first, because they can fill in the bigger spots. And there's some little baby ones on here that really can fill in the tinier spots. Trying to get all of these guys in. If I had extra spots at the end that I was unable to fill in, I think I could come in with like a fall stamp set, especially one that had little tiny leaves or something, and probably fill in some of these spaces. But I don't think I'm gonna do that, because I think I'm doing a pretty good job of getting them all filled in. I'll use the word Happy Harvest right here. And this is a nice way to kill an entire sticker sheet, apparently, because I'm doing a pretty good job at using this all up. And then I feel like when I get in here and erase the lines that make the edges of the circle, I think it's still going to completely read as a circle because I've filled it up. I know I've got a couple more little stickers here. And when you start going, then you'll start recognizing where there's tiny spaces that need something, because it'll look like a spot that's just kind of looking empty to you. And that's how you'll know that it needs another little sticker. Okay guys, I think I've literally taken all the baby stickers off of this sticker sheet, and I've got them all on here. But I also think that it looks really good. So I'm gonna come in with my eraser and erase this white line, or this pencil line that I made on here. I love the look of this. I really want to mat it on a piece of solid cardstock there. So I'm gonna go into my stash and find a piece of solid cardstock that coordinates with this, and I will be right back. Okay guys, now comes the hard part. Do I just want to mat the corners on this? Or do I want to literally cut the circle out of the center of this so it's just the white circle in the middle? Decisions. I could kind of do both things and pick what one I like better. But I'm afraid when I cut the circle out, it's gonna cover up all of the edges. Let me just try it. I'm gonna go ahead and cut a circle out right here in the middle of this paper before I try to trim anything off the edges. Oops, it's not big enough. Okay, I'm gonna try to cut the middle of this paper out first. Okay, so if I decide to change my mind, I can always come back and just gut that with straight edges and not worry about the circle part. But let's see what this looks like. If I have my layout and I just put this right here. I'm afraid it might cover up too many of my stickers. Actually, it looks pretty good, but I don't like the vibe that that gives. So I think I'm gonna stick to just matting the whole page on this, and then I will make a photo mat in the same exact color, and I'll just cut it from this circle that I cut out. So I'm actually just gonna leave that just like it is. I'm just gonna mat the whole layout on it. It's not a big deal to me that there's a circle taken out of the back. And then let me see here. I cut a little bit off of each of the 4 sides of this paper so I can mat it onto this yellow cardstock. And I will just get it adhered down. I cut a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 inch rectangle out of the circle. And that will serve as my photo mat down here. Okay, so I think I can adhere the photo mat down, and then I'll just know that I can either put a 4 by 6 picture there or 2 3 by 4 pictures there, whatever I end up doing. Okay, and that will be a layout that I make that is really utilizing up an awesome sticker sheet that I love, but I didn't get to use too much during the month of September. So now I get to enjoy it on a layout. So that is my second idea for Style Your Scraps. And then let's think of maybe the alphabet might not count as one whole idea because that was just rearranging letters on here. So we'll count this as my first idea for Style Your Scraps. Okay, next, I think I'm going to go ahead and back this cut file. Maybe. Let me see what I have here. I have white paper. I have some of this that I just cut, some of that cardstock that I can use. And then I've got quite a bit of pieces of different patterns of paper that I can use. Okay, these two just have writing all over them, so I'm not going to be able to use those to mat or to back this. But I can use a lot of these other patterns, both sides even. especially because most of those little shapes are really tiny. So let's see what I can do here. If I started out picking the biggest flowers and backing them with my biggest scraps, that might be a good idea. So I think I'm gonna pick all of the leaves that look like this and mat them on this color. Back them with that color. And guys, this is gonna take me like a really long time. So I don't think I'm gonna do this all on camera. I will show you how to do this. And then I think I'm gonna have to go off camera because this could be 4 hours long if it's on camera for real. No, not really 4, but I think it could be quite lengthy if I try to do this all on camera. So I'm gonna show you what I'm doing. I'm just outlining the outside of the shape, and then I'm coming in and trimming out just inside of that outline because I don't want to see it sticking out of the back. So I'm trimming out just the inside of this whole outline. And then I'm gonna come in and adhere it to the back of my cut file. And I am gonna do this over and over and over using all of these scraps that I have here. If I need more colors or more scraps, I have some wood grain here. I'm fine cutting apart some of these tacks. Like I can use this blue on the outside to like back little flowers or something. I don't mind using the edges of some of these cut aparts to get some different colors in there. So I am gonna go off camera to do this because like I said, this is gonna take a real long time, but it's also a great idea of what you can do with leftover scraps. And you know what, if I decide that I even want like a bright orange flower and maybe I don't like this flower particularly, I can even back one of the flowers with that pattern of paper and it will look nice. Do you see what I mean? Like just backing a flower with that. So I might even do that to a couple of these if there's any that I think, you know, I might not use this like this, but it could back nicely. And it will add another color into here too. So I'm gonna go off camera and I will come back when this is all done. Okay guys, this was my labor of love with this wreath. Holy moly. It took me about an hour to back this wreath, but I like it. It turned out nice. And then I put the little pearls, the finishing touch pearl mix from the Urban Edge Pro Mix, and I put them to embellish up some of these little circle places. I thought about putting one more on each of these little mini flowers too, but I'm not gonna do that right now. Anyway, so that is a second idea for your style your scraps. Next, I have all of these little frames, and I find them hard to use like that because they're just so thin. The opening in them is just so thin. So I'm gonna grab my Not Just for Boys packaging that I have. I have a whole bunch of these and it's piling up. And I am gonna back them with the grid paper. So I'm just gonna turn these into like basically little journaling blocks. And if I want to journal on them, great. If I don't want to journal on them, if I just wanna leave them as kind of like a layer, just kind of like a layering piece, that's great too. I don't need to journal on them. I could just kind of use them as a layering piece as well. I am gonna cut the little corners because the corners are rounded here. But I'm just gonna do that with a bunch of packaging. And then I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna add some little other bits and pieces. You know what? I think I am gonna add some bits and pieces to this. So I'm gonna make them kind of like journaling blocks, but also embellish them up a little. So the first step is to back them all with Not Just for Boys packaging. And as you can tell, these are quite a bit bigger than this packaging, but there are other sizes of Not Just for Boys packaging. I just need to find some in my stash. So they're, because we make all of our packaging with this little grid pattern on the front side. So I'm gonna go do the rest of these off camera, and I will be right back. Okay guys, so I got these cut, or the backs cut out of our packaging, and I got them layered, and now I feel like these are gonna be so much easier for me to use on layouts. And I am simply gonna finish fussy cutting these last couple tabs from the back side of the grid, from the grid paper that I used for these, because I don't want these last couple tabs to go to waste. So I'm gonna go ahead and fussy cut all of these, and maybe I'll even use some of them on these layers. Let me see. Okay, and now I have these cut. This is just a scrap that I have left, but I have all of these little pieces still, and all of these that I can easily embellish up some of these. Like this says best dad, fierce, brave. Like I can put some of these on these guys. So legend, let's see, a couple of these. This says nailed it. Fierce, built for this. I think I can use some of these in here to kind of layer up. Fearless. Rugged, I think would look really good on this built to last one, because that makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna get some of these things adhered down, and I will be right back. Okay guys, I think that is gonna about do it. So I made 5 of them, and some of them have a little bit of space for journaling. Some of them not too much space for journaling. You could at least probably put the date or something, you know, on them, or a location or something, even if you don't get to put a lot of journaling on those. But I did a really great job of using up the ends of these embellishments by doing this. If I wanted, I could have made them more fall themed, because I still have a bunch of these. So I could have come in and added, they would have looked great. Like if I would have even added the Thanksgiving stuff to them or behind it. So yeah, there's still quite a bit of leftovers left in this kit, but let me review what we made today with our Style Your Scraps video. Let me get all of these goodies put off to the side so I can pull everything out. So the first thing that I did, which wasn't really styling your scraps, I just kind of put all my alphabets, all the alphabet letters on one side of this, so I don't have to keep flipping back and forth to see if I can spell a word. And I put all the vowels on top, because obviously you need vowels to make any other word. So that's the first thing that I did, is just kind of organize those letters so they're a little bit easier for me to see. Next, we made this layout with this circle shape of all the stickers from the sticker sheet, and we worked in order from the biggest stickers and then added smaller and smaller stickers. So this is just ready for either one 4x6 picture or 2 3x4 pictures, like overlapped down there somehow. So that is all ready for a layout. Then I backed the cut file with mostly like branding strips and just a few little scraps of paper. I think the only paper that came out of my stash was these 2 leaves here, are scraps of this paper that I used to mat these. So just this leaf and this leaf. All the rest were papers from the kit, and then some pearls from the pearl pack. And last but not least, we made these little frames into little journaling spots, because I find it hard to use them as those just little thin, tiny frames on the layout. I like them better filled in the middle. Even if they're gonna layer pictures and whatnot on top of them, I still like them filled in the middle. So those are the 3 things that we did today with Style Your Scraps. I hope you were inspired to use up your scraps and use up the last little bits of your kits. And I still have plenty of product left to make more layouts. Obviously I'm gonna need more paper with that. So I'll go over what I plan on doing with all the rest of the pieces in my wrap up video, which will be up in a couple days. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.